Hello gang and welcome, I am Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com and this is part 1 of our ESO power leveling series, a quick series on how to really optimize your in-game time leveling if you want. First thing to know is, if you've never experienced a quest, your first time doing ESO, please do the quest. They are fun, a lot of fun, I really enjoyed it. But if you're like me, I have 8 VR14 characters, and in fact I deleted one so I can make this guy Steve Jabs. Yes, get it? Biting jabs. Anyways, I'm VR1 as you can see in my group frame, and I hit it in less than 9 hours, and I'm going to show you how to do it, along with a bunch of other tips on how to set up your character as soon as you start, making life much easier for you while you're leveling through Elder Scrolls Online. Part 1 is going to be pro tips for leveling. Part 2 is going to be the grind. Part 3, to be determined. Let's get started. So if you've noticed here, I've deleted already one of my VR14s, and I want to do another one. Am I crazy? Well, yeah, but I don't want to wait for extra character slots, and I want to take the time to show you guys exactly what I do as soon as I start a character, how I grind it up, etc. Why am I doing this? A lot of people are struggling to level up, and I want to make sure you guys know what you're doing. Some of it costs money, some of it has prior experience. You can use whatever tips you want. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete this guy, VR14, yes, and create someone new. Delete. Goodbye, Big Jake. It's been a lot of fun. And now we're going to create my little kitty Khajiit on DC faction. Let's go. Shanks is born, yes. The massive, muscular, beefy Khajiit that's going to dominate PvE DPS. So as you can see, my UI screwed up. I got a bunch of different things going on. So let's start with top to bottom, and usually about the 10 or so things that I do to start when I make a new character. I'm going to speed this video up just a bit, but the main things I want to do is set up my UI, set up all my controls, gameplay, so I'm going to turn auto load on, tune tutorials off, get my camera straight along with my interface, keybinds, get my health bars on, and turn on just the way I like it. I like my skills to always show. I have certain things that I use in social for specific guild chats, and then also a bunch of different add-on settings to make sure everything's fit just the way I like it on the other characters. So FTC, I'm just checking to see if all these things transfer over from my previous characters. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Especially the different add-ons that I have on by default. A lot of PvP add-ons, so I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of PvP on this guy, so I turn all that stuff on. Turn it off. And if you're on consoles and you don't have add-ons, you still want to check your gameplay settings. Like if you have auto loot on, protecting innocence, so you don't just shoot an arrow and kill someone or yourself. These are basic things that I always check when I'm starting another character. So now that I got some of these add-ons turned on and off, what I really want to do is do my keybinds after I turn 2 back on that I didn't want to have off. Keybinds are very important. On consoles, I don't know how to keybind. I know there's a controller that does it, and there's something else to do it, but it's my main bread and butter, along with applying attribute points. Now here's something key for you. Once you get a brand new character, you want to make sure you change keybinds, like I've said, and also take the skills right away. So while I'm changing keybinds, that's a really important point. You want a skill from each skill line, because you get 3 skill lines by default, and I elected to skip the beginning thing. So you're going to put 1 point into each tree, and you're going to slot those on your bar. And you actually get a 4th ability for free in Soul Magic, though I don't use it a whole often. So what I'm trying to do is build a bow sniper for endgame PvE and PvP. So ideally I want those 3 points right away to go to my 3 skill lines, and then I'm going to put a bow skill on right after that. That's going to level up all the skill lines the same and get me on a good start. So now let's go get some crafted gear. And I'm on my crazy little other Khajiit here to craft me some weapons. Yeah. So you may or may not be in a crafting guild, have this crafted, but you really want to get training trait on your weapons. So I know from the start I'm going to want to use bow, and then when I hit level 15 and get a back bar, I'm going to go to dual wield. So why not just create this stuff right away? So if you can't create the stuff on your own, remember that the guilds do have options to buy gear that have training on it. So if you have some extra cash, or maybe it's your very first time playing, I'd recommend saving up and getting that right away because it makes a huge difference. Luckily for me, I've been playing this game for a year plus, so I have all the traits, I'm in a good guild, and I can get all this stuff. But it makes a big difference, especially the armor. The armor and putting training on all of your slots will help level that up faster. Remember, if you get your medium armor up on this build specifically, better resource management. It's really key. So now I have all my skills set up. I picked up my gear from the bank, and I'm good to go. But I want to do one other thing, which is get a Mundus stone. Most people don't think about this, but the really good Mundus stones that you particularly usually want are off in the distance at some high level area. So you can do one of two things. You can travel there yourself, which is time consuming, pretty hard. You can also go to Cyrodiil, the Lobby Cyrodiil place, but we have to be level 10 to do that. Or you can get your buddy to go there for you. So Psycho has been nice enough to kind of go through here and clear the mobs for me in a level, 38 or so zone. And so I'm going for the warrior. Since I'm playing a stamina DPS build, I really want high weapon power. Some other good ones are the Atronox for magic users for regeneration. And in the future, the Serpent is going to be changed for stamina recovery. So that is very good as well. But get a Mundus stone. It makes a big difference early on. The harder you hit, the faster things die. You don't have to heal. And even at level 3, I can get the Mundus stone that I want. Another important thing to do is get the 3 guild quests. Yes, the 3. So the first area you're going to be in, regardless if you're DC, EP, or Aldemary Dominion, is you're going to have a tavern that has the Undaunted folks in there. You want to get the quest, and it doesn't matter when you complete it, you'll still get good rewards, and it'll unlock a skill line. That's really important, because now you can start earning Undaunted achievements, progressing your line to get those important passes that you must have later on if you want a high powerful character. And then also the Mages Guild and Fighters Guild. So I didn't use this on my previous character, Steve Jabs, and I wasn't accumulating Fighters Guild points early on. Fighters Guild is essential for PvE DPS, considering Flawless Dawnbreaker is a massive boost to your damage. So go pick this up. Pick Fighters Guild up, pick Mages Guild up, Undaunted. Then you're off to a good start with all 3 of those. You don't have to do the quest, and in fact, when I do this leveling, power leveling specifically, you almost don't have to do any quests in the game. The only quests you have to do are the main story, the Harborage, and then once you get to Cold Harbor, the Far West quest and the Far East quest, finish the main story, essentially about 5 hours of questing total. And that's all you have to do to get from 1 to VR1. Now, it's a little bit more complicated in the VR levels, but this is the best way to go about it if you want pure speed. Another simple but yet helpful thing is the bag merchant already in the beginning city. Make sure that you give some other gold from one of your characters, if you have one, and it's about 40,000 to completely max out your bag. That's going to give you a nice boost collecting stuff and just traveling around the world, and it's going to be easier. And for super power leveling, you want to get a friend or a buddy to level with that you plan on leveling when they're only online. Reason being is you can get 10% extra benefit, extra experience by getting a Ring of Mara. You can buy it through the Imperial Edition one time, or you can buy it in the Crown Store. But getting this, having both rings on during the level experience, 10% while being in a group, 10% for having the marriage and the rings on, and 10% for being a subscriber, not to mention the XP potions at 50%. So all stacked together, it starts to add up into a monster powerful thing. So what I usually do, it's about $10 to buy the ring or the Imperial Edition, so work something out with one of your friends and see who's willing to split it. Next thing we're going to do is, now that we're pretty well set up, we're going to go head off into the beginning grind area. The main premise of what we're doing here is getting set up, getting our guy to level 10 as fast as possible, and then going to the grind and Wayrest sewers, which I'll show you in the next video. So what I'm trying to do is get to Betnik by taking this dock to the next dock to the city. So what you want to do here is get the sky shards on the first 2 islands. That way you do have some access to new abilities and whatnot, and get to the grind spot in Betnik right away.
It depends where you need to go. From here we travel to Strosmakai.
This is the very first grind, which will take us to level 10, which I'm going to show you guys tomorrow. But just so you know, you want to get to level 10 as fast as you can. That way you can get to the fastest grind in the game, averaging basically a level every 10 minutes. And you don't have to go anywhere else. It's instance-based, so you can do it with your friend. Grinding, remember, is optimal per 2 people, being married, being a subscriber, using XP potions or XP scrolls, whichever one you want. So that's what we're going to do. So for this build and for grinding specifically, I like range. Using a bow or using a staff, having a balance of stamina and magicka to start. Later on in the game, it's going to be easy to use stamina or just magic, but early on, it's important to have a balance. If you can keep enemies away from you, just like we're doing with our bows, they're not going to get up on you and kill you. So for this lesson, recap. You want to get to Mundus. You want to get everything set up as far as gear, training traits if you can. And you want to take advantage of being married in the game. It really adds up to have a partner in your group to grind all the time. If you can reach some of those cool Munduses, great. Also open up that bag space. It will pay itself back just by vendoring items overall. Once you do that, put your head down, get to level 10, because we're going to go on overdrive in part 2, and that's when we get to VR1 really, really fast. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a video long time coming. Hope you enjoyed. A lot more tips in PvP, PvE, power leveling.